Welcome back to this week's episode of Maximum Octane. I'm your host, Kim Hickey, and we are broadcasting live from the Hyatt in Orlando and on Cypress Drive, I think it is. So interesting. Yesterday, I had to go to Disney Springs to get marshmallows for someone, and had to go through security to go shopping. But enough about that. Joining me today is my co-host, Mr. Jason Patel. And then I'm going to turn it over to Mike because this is a collision thing, and we love our collision stuff, to introduce our wonderful guest. So this is Mr. Mike Paim over here. He is our team leader for our collision department. And Mike, you can do the honors.
Hi, how are you doing? I'm a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me. Joined today with Daniel, the owner and inventor of BodyShop Marketing, which is a great platform for all body shops. He specializes in body shop marketing, specifically for body shops.
Well, thank you guys for having me here. This is awesome. Daniel Burkholder is my name. I'm the founder of BodyShop Marketing. Just a little bit of a backstory. I grew up in the collision repair industry. My dad started the shop back in the 80s and grew up around it. Worked in management most of the years I was at the shop. Moved on in 2021 and founded BodyShop Marketing in 2023. So we're going on 3 years, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We serve shops from coast to coast here in the U.S., and yeah, it's great.
So you founded it in 2023, shortly out of COVID, when all these shops were impacted already, and they were probably, most of the shops that were 4 or 5 months out of doing any work. Was it hard to get you off the ground?
That's a really interesting question, and you are right. Coming out of COVID, shops were booked out. Like, why would we spend any money on marketing, which is not the right philosophy to have? I can speak to that more, but you're exactly right. We are now in an environment where shops are much more open to speak about marketing because they're slow, which is the wrong time to start marketing. But that's where we're at. Historically, as Mike knows, the collision industry has spent very little money on marketing other than building direct repair programs and kind of fostering that along with maybe discounts. And I like to tell shop owners, any discounts you're giving insurance companies, those are your marketing dollars. You know that? Like, you want them to push you work. So definitely the environment has changed from 2023 till now. So it was definitely a hard start out of the gate. When I started BodyShop Marketing, it took us some time to start building momentum. We are now in a position where we've been at this long enough. I've been at this long enough. We're becoming the authority in the space. I've written a book.
Wow.
Happy to give you a book.
Yeah,
I've got one.
I did not know that.
I've got books here.
What's the title?
BodyShop Marketing.
Something like that, exactly. So it's like the complete internet marketing guide for body shops. I don't even remember the exact title. It's something like that. It's a long title. Launched a podcast. So it's called the BodyShop Leaders Podcast. Had a lot of fun with that. I started that in, I would say about October of last year. We've just dropped our 10th episode here like last Friday. So that's pretty cool. We talked to like a lot of shop owners. Yeah, anyways, that's having a lot of fun with it.
I want to get back to the beginning because you mentioned that your dad had started a body shop
Yes.
and owned it, and then now you started a business. Let's talk a little bit about the entrepreneurial spirit. How does that? Because, it's interesting because some kids, when their parents are entrepreneurs, they kind of grow up with stuff already done, and they're like, yeah, my family did that. That's not my thing, right? But you have obviously the spirit. So what drove you to start this? And because it's tough, right? You get an idea to be an entrepreneur and to be able to see what's possible. There's something bigger. Mm-hmm. Let's talk a little bit about that.
So those are great questions. I would say I come from a family of entrepreneurs. I have a whole bunch of brothers. I come from a big family.
What's a whole bunch of brothers? What does that mean?
I have 5 brothers.
Wow.
Okay, that is a whole bunch.
And every single one of them owns their own business. So I come from a family of
Where do you
entrepreneurs.
fall in that food line?
I am the baby in the family.
Okay.
I am the baby.
Yeah, he's not a small guy.
Right.
Yeah.
So I come from a family of entrepreneurs, and I kind of have this, I want to do my own thing. I'm a bit of a creator, an inventor, which is a downfall, and there's some strong points to it as well. But I would say to why did I start it? There's probably a couple places we could go with that question. One of them is sheer necessity. So I moved from Western Canada to Oklahoma in the summer of 2023, the same time.
The best time to move in the summer in Oklahoma.
Right. It was about 110.
No one
it was
ever.
about 110 degrees. It was about 110 degrees when we got there.
Oh my goodness.
So it was a huge culture shock coming from Western Canada, where it barely ever gets above 80 degrees in the summertime. And so that was great. Glad we did that. But necessity, and I just hung in there, kept building, kept growing, and it was some hard times for sure. Those first year and a half, it was difficult because I came from nowhere, really. And that's like Grant Cardone says, the number one problem that small businesses face is obscurity. Mm-hmm. And that is the problem I had, was nobody knew about me and nobody knew about BodyShop Marketing. So just a lot of energy went into that. And obviously that continues today, but at 3 years in, a lot more people know about us. We are developing that authority in the space like I was talking about. So necessity obviously drove me to, I've got a family, so I need to feed my family.
I can't imagine starting in 2023 when you have all of these body shops that were so impacted, that were 3, 4, 5, 6 months pushing workout, and then you're starting marketing, because who thinks they need marketing when you have all of this work lined up for 6 months
Right.
out? That's awesome, man, that you did that. I'm sure it was a struggle, but
It was
man,
tough.
that's awesome.
It was tough.
Well, I think it's
I'm
also
not
one of
gonna
those things, right, where we talk about this in any marketing situation, doesn't matter what industry you're in. You can't ask for a life jacket once you're already in the water.
Boy, that's awesome,
I mean,
man.
right? You can't. You're already behind the ball there.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
So one of the things that, first of all, it's a great name. Body Shop Marketing, like, you don't have to think what they're doing, right? Now that also goes to show that that space is untapped. Because if you're able to secure Body Shop Marketing, obviously there's not that many people, not that many players in that industry so far.
Right.
So what is one of the biggest challenges for you right now that the collision industry does need a little bit more on the marketing side? What are some of the biggest challenges that you're facing at the moment?
Good question, Jason. And I think there's largely two problems that I see consistently in shops that I'm talking to. Is, like I mentioned before, as Mike knows, historically, they've spent very little money on marketing. That's probably problem number one, is just getting shop owners to embrace the idea that, yes, we need to market our shops. Like, that's just the reality. And when you think about it, across the U.S., here's a little statistic for you. Across the U.S., here's some rule of thumbs. You want to be spending 5% of your annual revenue just to maintain market share on marketing. If you want to grow moderately, you're spending 10% of your revenue. If you want to grow aggressively, you're spending 15% of revenue. And you say that to a shop owner, and they flip out because they aren't even used to spending 0.5% of their annual revenue on marketing. So just to give some context to this, that's problem number one, is just having them embrace the idea that, yes, you know what, the world has changed. DRPs, we don't know what's going to happen to them in the next 2 to 3 years. We have to start selling ourselves. We need to start marketing our shop.
Can we talk about that for just one
Yeah.
moment before you finish? Because it is a huge myth and a limiting belief. And I'm on the mechanical side, but I still talk to some of our body shop owners, and we have shops that have, shop owners that have both, and conversations. And when I ask them about marketing, they're like, they look at me like I'm on the gum on the bottom of their shoe. And they're like, we don't market. And they say we can't market. And I said, please explain to me, because I don't understand it. I'm truly asking from curiosity. Why can't you market? It just doesn't make sense to me as an entrepreneur that you can't. And the things that they'll tell me is they don't have any say in who comes in. They just have to wait till somebody gets towed in. They have to only the insurance to come in, and all of these reasons. And I don't think that's right. I'm not an expert on your industry, but it doesn't make sense. And so, there's little vendor. I've taken my car in plenty of times that I didn't want to put on my insurance because I didn't want my insurance to go up because I did something stupid. I had a word of mouth or whatever because nobody advertises. So I had to look for whatever. They're not even on Google. Half of them don't have a website. Can you talk about that myth and the limiting belief of that they can't market? They can't do it. Why do they think that? What is wrong with you people?
Exactly.
Mike, what's wrong with you people?
I think
Different breed.
it's largely they have gotten so used to it over the last 50 years, direct repair programs that insurance put in place, and they feel like that is monopolizing them, and it is a big problem. We cannot overcome direct repair programs. We can't overcome steering, because if you call your insurance company, yes, your state has laws in place that the insurance companies can't technically tell you where to go.
We don't have any laws of Florida, but go ahead.
Great state.
Florida man.
Yeah, steering is becoming a huge issue.
The verbiage they use is you will sure think you need to take your shop to ABC
Well, it's
shop.
like mechanical shop with a dealer with warranty. You have different things, and they make
steer.
it sound, the
So
towing.
that is-
It's
That is a
Absolutely.
big problem, and I would say it is a limiting belief that we have to overcome. And that's where I am here to educate shop owners. We do webinars once a month. Shop owners are free to join that. And I want shop owners to realize that there are tools that they can utilize, because the collision industry is a needs-based industry. It's not a interest-based or a want-based industry. It's like, when I need a body shop, I need a body shop. I'm not scrolling on Facebook and like, oh, cool ad. I think I might want to go to a body shop this weekend.
right.
So
Although you could make that happen too with marketing. I mean, there's always seminars that you could put for
Exactly.
like, detailing, car
What
care.
I'm very interested in, so the older body shop owners that are set in their ways, that still want to write a check when they go to the grocery store, they don't want to use a credit card.
Oh my goodness.
Those people that still own a body shop that probably have no idea about marketing versus the new era of body shop owners, do you find it harder to get the new ones involved because they think to come to body shop marketing because they think they know how to use Google and they know Facebook and they know how to do that? Or do you think it's harder to get into this new what do you guys call
New
it?
generation of owners.
Your age group?
Yeah, new generation of owners. We can just keep it at that.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah, let's
The
just keep it
millennial.
simple.
He's
Let's
trying to get to the millennials.
Yeah,
is what
let's-
he's wanting to
there
say.
you go. That's the word. That's it. Is it harder to break through the millennials?
Oh my goodness.
He's
He's a millennial too.
yeah, exactly. Don't date me like
Right.
that. Mike, come on. Like, take it easy on us. Obviously, when I think of like our client group, we have a mix of older owners, of younger owners, like really young. There is obviously, I would say largely, is some of the older ones realize, you know what, times have changed. We got to get on the bandwagon now or we're going to be left behind. The younger ones have grown up with it. So yes, there's that aspect that they maybe think they can do it all themselves, but obviously the smart ones that realize, you know what, I'm running a business. I don't want to work in the business all the time. I want to work on the business. They hire people like BodyShop Marketing to handle it for them because they realize we live in this world. We can stay up with what's going on and leverage our expertise across shops all across the country rather than them having to learn it the hard way. So to answer that question, I feel like it's largely to the older generation, it's probably educating them on the importance of it. To the younger generation, they get that a little bit quicker. Sorry, Mike. But you do have a point there, the tendency to think, well, I can do this. I was just talking to a shop owner yesterday. He is younger than me, but I would say we're fairly much in the same age bracket. And he expressed that same thing. He's like, I know I should be posting on Facebook. And I think, oh, I could take a picture of this, but I never do it. And that's the thing. He's running a shop. He shouldn't have to be thinking about posting on Facebook. That's not he's a good operator. He's building a second location. Like he's a president of an association.
Well, that's the
He's
thing, though,
busy.
right? You have to surround yourself with a team. I mean, even if you go back to Ray Kroc from McDonald's when he bought, right? And for anybody that has not watched the movie The Founder, you need to watch that if you're an entrepreneur. But he said, I don't know how to do it. He was a milkshake machine salesperson, right? And he didn't know, but he hired the people that did know.
Exactly.
And part of his success, or 99% of it, was that he hired a team that understood about the legal stuff, about the marketing things, about land and real estate and all of those things. And you have to have the team because you can't do it yourself. And what I think is interesting too, because we brought up generation, I'm seeing the pendulum start to swing the other way, and younger people are not wanting anything to do with social media. Like One of my sons is one of them. He's 30, 31, and I think he's on the cusp of. You will not catch my older son on social media for anything. He thinks it's garbage. He said they're not. I could form my own opinions. They're not doing that. I'm not having my feed, and he thinks any minute you are on Facebook or anything else, like you're wasting your life. He's like, you're wasting your life. You just lost 10 minutes of your life you're not getting back.
Which is 100% true.
Which is 100% true. So we have to be able to reach all those different people and different things, because he will go on Reddit or he will go on YouTube or whatever when he's trying to fix something or he
AI
wants to buy.
right.
Yeah,
Which
he doesn't
everything
like
is.
AI either.
Right.
I know it goes through, but he is not. He will go on. He uses the internet as a tool for research and social media. So it's so important to understand the audience and the average person. I don't know how to reach my son and then also reach you and then reach someone like me and then reach someone like Mike.
As old as Mike, especially. I mean,
So like if you're not
love you,
hiring,
Jason.
if you're not hiring someone, you're crazy, because it's not just. This is not when you used to just do an ad on, whatever, or one Facebook ad, or we have people with different buying personalities and different things and speak to them. And if your messaging is not encompassing all of those different things, you might hit one certain group of people and nothing else. And everybody that has to get their vehicle body work done is not one set group or age group or whatever. So you have to hire somebody that understands that.
Absolutely. I've always wondered, is it really a myth that they say, like with social media, as Kim says, and you guys do this media stuff,
That just sounded so old.
media stuff.
media stuff,
Media stuff.
social
Media
media
stuff.
crap,
Right.
that Instagram is a younger crowd and Facebook is an older crowd. Is that that's not true, is it? I didn't think it would, but you hear that.
Not when it comes to marketing, right? Because here's kind of, and I'm more in the mechanical side when it comes to marketing and whatnot. But here's like, even with the body shop side, this stuff resonates, right? Where when you're looking at, in terms, if you're a collision shop owner, you want to be the first person or first shop that your ideal customer thinks of when something does happen.
Absolutely.
So if we're looking at it from that perspective, the currency in today's economy and marketing, the currency is information. So if you are able to provide information, you're able to educate a potential customer by any means, you've already started building that relationship, even if they're not your customer. Mm-hmm. So when we're looking at Instagram, we're looking at Facebook. So here's the deciding factor that is, well, it is a lot more Reels based, but here's what's really turned this into a kind of a level playing field for all age groups, is the indexing that happens from Google, from all the search engines, ChatGPT. They are indexing Instagram, they're indexing Facebook. Most people are not going to go on Instagram to search for a body shop unless they already know. Right. They're also not going to go on Facebook to search for a body shop unless they already know. But the good thing is, we were talking about steering, right? For all the, you're not allowed to steer or whatnot. But Facebook, Instagram, all social media can steer those customers to you.
Well, they absolutely do. And one of the things that I notice now is I don't actively go on Instagram or TikTok or any of those things, but they pop up in my feed of whatever I'm on. And now, as I think some people know, I'm a glamour, right? So I bought some glamour things and whatever. Now my feed is all babies and how to take pictures and like all of this stuff. I didn't ask for any of that, but it knows, and it's sending me, without me asking, a TikTok video, the reel, all of these things that I didn't ask for and I wouldn't be going and searching for. It just knows. So the steering is a real thing. But again, it goes back to, if you're not hiring someone that can orchestrate that and say, here's the things that somebody that's, a new grandmother would be liking, right? Because it's different stuff than what my daughter-in-law is buying for the baby. And it knows. And it doesn't know because I was smart enough to say, these are the things that I need as a new grandma, right? Somebody behind the scenes is doing it and saying, for this person, they need these type of, it's all like about babies. But my daughter-in-law's feed is, here's, wipe warmers and a diaper genie, and here's a carrier. They're not giving the pouch carrier. I'm not getting reels about a pouch carrier because I'm old. So they know I'm not going to be slinging the kid in a backpack and going, right? But somebody has to engineer that. And if you're not hiring somebody to do that, you're so far behind, you're not ever going to catch up. And word of mouth, it only goes so far, because unless you're actively asking someone, hey, I had a fender bender, I got a scratch on my paint, whatever, who do you take your vehicle to? There's that word of mouth is not happening unless you go in actively ask someone. So now you're relying on someone to say, gee, at the next party I go to, I'm going to ask around, who they use or whatever, where the other way it's just, it's coming to you and it's in front of you all the time.
Right. I mean, I think this is one of the things. So I've gotten my fair share of speeding tickets, and and what usually happens when you get a speeding ticket, like 2 days or 3 days later, you already have a lawyer mail, right? Like in snail mail, you're already getting lawyers reaching out to you, right? But that's because they have access to a database. Now, on the flip side of that, on the collision side, your phone already knows when you get into a wreck because it's got built-in sensors, and it can even call the authorities for you whenever you get into a wreck. So we already have the data, the infrastructure is already in place for collision shops to be able to get to that level without necessarily having those legal resources to target when a police report is filed for, a wreck or accident or whatnot. So my question to you would be, from a body shop's perspective, what are you guys really focusing on as far as when it comes to targeting compared to just overall general marketing?
That's a good question. And that would vary from location to location, let's say rural versus metroplex or in the city. But where we see the best ROI by far for our clients is in the search world. So whether that's Google, basically any search engine, obviously Google's a big player now. And we have the emerging AI search like ChatGPT and Gemini and Grok and those kinds of things that are going to revolutionize the search world as we know it. That's happening right now. And that is by far the best opportunity. So let's say here in Orlando, there's, let's say 20,000 searches a month going on for auto body repair topics, collision repair topics. We want to ensure that our clients are getting in front of those searches, whether it's through their organic search results, whether it's through Google ads, whether it's in the AI searches, obviously, that are becoming more and more prevalent. That is where we're seeing the best ROI for our clients. And that kind of brings me to, I would say, the second problem, circling way back to an earlier question, the second problem that we see in the industry is there's shops spending money on marketing, but they have no mechanism to track. They have no idea. They're just like throwing money at the wall and hoping something sticks. So we have worked hard at BodyShop Marketing to put systems in place where we can track the leads that are coming in, and then also track those leads the whole way through to actually repair orders and the revenue generated. That's one of probably the second biggest problem I see is, obviously, first one is shops not spending money on marketing and investing in that, and shops that aren't tracking where their money is going. Let's say they're spending 10 grand a month and they don't know. It's like, we think it's helping. We have no data to prove what's going on. So that's, I would say, definitely one of the biggest problems we see.
So we're still primarily, and I think this is where the infancy of the body shop marketing industry really comes into light right now, is we're still primarily focusing on when people are actually searching, right?
Yes.
When people need you're getting in front of them.
Yes.
Which the automotive mechanical side we've already kind of bridged that gap where people have already really understood that you want to be there when you search, right? We're talking about search engine optimization,
right,
ranking on Google better and all of that. And now we're moving into the location size as far as targeting more. We're moving into that on the mechanical side, which, to be fair, a lot of marketing vendors have not completely figured out yet. But one of the things that is a possibility, even when it comes to the collision side, and Mike, this might be a better question for you as well, because you're dealing with a lot of the shops day to day as well. Are you seeing a need for bringing in non-insurance related work more and more in some of the body shops that we are talking to?
Our best practice is that, to stay away from the DRP mode. We would like you to be 25% of your gross profit to be independent without DRPs. And that is happening. With the marketing that ATI offers, the coaching that we offer, it is happening, and I do see it happening more and more. And people are leaving, as Daniel mentioned, leaving the DRP style of body shops. When I had my body shop, I would have called Daniel crazy. There's no way. Looking at it now from a different angle, having someone show me, no way if I ever owned a body shop would I have a DRP. There's just no way.
So right now, the search volume, like you said, is the highest return.
Yes.
Right. So you guys are optimizing for SEO, doing all the ranking related stuff, AI search, all of that. So right now, if you look at the body shops that are signing up with you, what are the kind of the key indicators for them to come to you guys and asking for help? Like, what are you seeing? What are the struggles, or what are some of the key indicators?
Typically, it's just I guess there's a couple things. One of the reasons is they're slow, and that takes me back to
life
another
jacket.
Exactly. And honestly, I will turn shops away because unfortunately we can't save a ship that's sinking. If they're in a bad position, we're not going to be able to save them. So I will do our research, and we will turn them away because we don't have any magic. This is just basic things that they should have been building over the last 5-10 years. And that's why when shops are busy, and I can't say this enough, and if you're busy, if your shop is busy, then is a time to be investing in your marketing. You have the cash flow. Divert some of that and invest it into your marketing. When you're slow, you don't have the cash flow to support a marketing program. And
it's too late.
It's too late. Exactly. It's too late.
You can't just press a button.
You can't. I know. Come on, Jason. Like
right.
we have like a magic wand at Body Shop Marketing. We got a crystal ball we peer into, and we figure out like
that's what I thought.
Yeah, exactly. And then we whip out our wand, and people seem to think that's the case with marketing. Well, unfortunately, it's not. It is something you build long term. And that brings me to a point as well that I think some shops are mastering, which is somewhat out of the search marketing. It's in the brand building.
Right.
Building a brand
Absolutely.
in your community. And a lot of shops have been there forever. Like, oh, my dad started this. We've been here 50 years. That's amazing. That's really good. But what's happening in a lot of metroplexes is you have people moving. They don't know that you've been there 50 years. They just moved into town 2 years ago.
Right.
We on average, we get into a collision about every 7 years. So let's say
that's rough.
So brand building is a long-term game. A shop that's willing to invest into branding, you have to be willing to play the long game, 100%. And we have a client that his goal is that people aren't searching for auto body shops in his city or in his area. He has multiple shops. His goal is that people are searching his name. He loves it when he sees the search reports of people that have searched Mr. Dan. Like that to him that is what he's trying to do. That is tough, but guess what? He probably spends more money on marketing than any shop I know in the country because he's willing to do that. He's building a long-term brand.
That's amazing.
What you were just talking about with branding, one of the things is I love your name because, as Jason said, it's simple. Some of you out there, I know you want to be clever and unique.
Oh, no.
The names that you're picking for your businesses, no one in a million years would ever think to search for that, or the crazy spelling because you want to.
Oh, yes.
T-Rex collision with a K.
The best. There's a lot.
There's just so
crazy
keep it
names.
simple. Just keep it simple because you want people to find you. Want that brand. You don't want them to have to think about, wait, was that the one that spelled the works with a whatever and
Hey, I'm guilty of this, all right? Mine was Motorworks WERKS, but that was intentional because it's Euro.
oh
You're
whatever.
one of those guys. Yeah, that's
One
right.
of
You're a
those.
Euro guy. That makes all the sense. Now it's all falling
It's all
together.
coming
And then for your branding, people don't know what you do unless you tell them, which comes back to marketing. So I love when all of you are out there with, trying to get internal customers, external customers, and even internal customers. You have, 4 weeks paid vacation, you pay for gyms, you pay for if they want to be in charity event. You have all of these wonderful things, and no one knows because you don't do any marketing. But somehow word of mouth genie is going to come in your shop, overhear everything, and then just go out and spread pixie dust and just tell people.
That's what Daniel does.
Whatever.
Right? Magic wand.
And the same thing with your external customers. It's like we have a shuttle, or we give you a loaner card. Wonder who knows that? Our customers know. How do your customers know?
Right.
We've been here for 30 years. So that doesn't mean that they know that you're doing all of these wonderful things. So
Exactly.
when you talk about your value proposition and why people should come to you and your brand, you have to tell people. It has to be somewhere. It can't just be everybody knows. Nobody knows. You are not as important as you think. You're not. I mean, let's be honest. I know we all like to think we're the center of everything and everybody knows us and whatever. You're not. People have a million things going on. If you think they're sitting at home going, you know what? I bet that Jason guy that spells that thing with an ERX, I bet you he has some amazing benefits for his internal customers. And I know by the way he looks and he's got great hair that he's got loaner cars, right? Like that's not happening. You're not that important. So make yourself important, get your name out there, do things in the community, right? And get the brand, because you have a brand, but it might not be the brand that you asked for or wanted, right? Because it causes a vacuum. So there's no need for this anymore. There's no need. Look, you're making my little things jingle.
Well, I do want to bring up a pretty cool example here, right? So Safelite windshield replacement, right? They've been in the industry for a while. They got very aggressive with marketing, I would say probably 4 or 5, maybe even 6 years ago. They got very aggressive. And I know they have obviously more, it's not every 7 years that you're going to need a windshield, right? But if you look at their model, it's when they're marketing, they are constantly, because most people are, they might get a little rock chip here and stuff like that. The collision industry could use some of that playbook, right? I mean, this is the opportunity that you guys have when it comes to the branding side, not the search side.
Right.
But then also, if we look at like Nike, for example, why are we still seeing Nike ads? I mean, everybody knows Nike. Why are we still seeing Nike ads, right? They want to keep bringing it up. And yes, you might buy shoes more often or clothes or whatever, but it's the same concept. If you are not constantly getting in front of the people, whoever your ideal customer profile is, and for body shops, that's just unlimited, it's wide open. And not only for customers that are going to bring their vehicles in, but also for technicians. And one thing that, I'm not huge in the collision side of things, but there's this one individual I follow. They're based out of North Carolina. It's called Auto Body Strong. He's got a huge...
Does he spell body like BODEEE, or does he just spell it body?
He just spells it normally.
Okay.
But one of the things that he does, and he doesn't own his own repair shop. He is just a technician on the collision side. But he has done such a phenomenal job building his brand that if he did open up a collision shop, he would be set for life, just because he's done such a good job educating customers and just regular information out there.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
Right, and this is where it opens up the platform. So for collision side, you guys are some of the equipment that is being utilized in collision shops. The collision equipment manufacturer also needs someone to market their stuff. Now we're looking into much more revenue opportunities where you're able to start working with the manufacturers of this equipment. You're building your brand, but that's also bringing you so many more possibilities that you would have never seen otherwise. So I encourage collision shop owners to really get on the bandwagon. You have to start creating content that is going to help build that customer base for you. That way, whenever something goes wrong, you are the first person they think of.
Very well said.
With branding, it's so important that when you're driving down the road and you're thinking, I want to get something to eat, and you think, I'm going to have a hamburger, you think of the big golden arches. You go to the mall to buy some shoes, you think of the swoosh. That has all been burned in your head since you were a kid,
right? And
continue burning it in your head, along with body shop marketing, to continue burning your logo, your name of your body shop or automotive repair into someone's head. Because the last thing you're going to think of is Jason's Body Shop when I get in a wreck. But if I keep burning that in your head, you'll remember that. So when you are in a time of need, when you're in an accident, you're on the side of the road, the first thing I'm going to think is Jason's Body Shop, because it's been burnt in my head, because they just keep seeing that around the community. I don't think shop owners and business owners to think that way very much. And that's why I love what Daniel does.
Yeah.
And a lot of our big members, and I'll throw them out there, Drew, that brought you to us, vetted him for us.
DB Collision.
Yeah, DB Orlando Collision, DB Collision Orlando, Drew Bryant recommended and said, you need to talk to this guy. I'm like, oh, another marketing guy. Here we go. There's a million. Of
There's a
them.
million. Of
Yeah,
them.
I'm like, okay. And
Well, I
he didn't
remember
need
he
it.
called me. He's like, "Kim, this dude is so cool, and
Yeah.
he actually only does marketing for Body Shop." He's
Yeah,
like,
I
"It's
was
a real
excited.
thing." He was.
I was so excited. I'm like, there's really one just for body shops. Because
It is called Body Shop Marketing.
Yeah, but when is he going to sell out and start branching out? Hopefully never. But it's amazing that he has the body shop background, and it is amazing. You know how many, both of you have had businesses, you have them. You know how many people come and want to do marketing for you, and it's almost a waste of money because they do nothing for you. I mean, they absolutely don't.
Well, we
Yeah.
do have some wonderful.
Oh no, we do.
partners.
No,
Yeah.
no, but they've been vetted.
Yes.
Right.
But I'm saying
They've
just
been vetted, yes.
Right.
The
Yes.
ones that just come, I don't want to sell short the ones that we do use.
Right.
Absolutely. The ones that just appear at your shop as you're busy underneath a car and they come and talk to you. You're like, I mean, we've all have had them.
Well, anybody could create a marketing company. It just takes a website.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, absolutely.
Yes. No, and you know what? The marketing industry has a bad rap. And for
Automotive
reason,
does
for
that.
reason,
I mean, just
right,
in general,
Yeah.
for sure.
reason. So no, I can understand that thought. Like, oh no, not another one.
Yeah.
Well, if you can believe it, it's already our time.
There's no way.
You can believe it. Yeah. It's doing so quick. So what
was it, 10
final
minutes?
words? What final words do you want to leave our audience with?
I would say if there's two things you take away from this podcast is number one, start marketing, and number two is track every dollar you spend. Otherwise, you have no idea what's working. So
You
those would
can
be kind of the
measure,
two
you can
takeaways
manage
I
it,
would
right?
leave.
Wonderful, wonderful. Mike?
I would say being business owners and employees of any business, you're always marketing. You always are working for the company that you represent. You are a representative of that company. And for the ones that are thinking of starting a business, think of something that I never thought of. You are eventually going to sell that business. So think of the name. Think of the name as Kim goes. Don't do something dumb. Do something that you can market, a succession plan that you can sell down the road. Get some help if you're not too sure. But kiss it. Keep it simple, stupid. You don't need this creative, crazy name because people don't know how to spell your crazy Wreck-It Automotive Repair, and you spell it some crazy way. So keep it simple, and I appreciate everyone listening.
All right.
Thank you.
Jason?
One of the things that I would like to say is when it comes to marketing, branding, you should always do what everyone else is doing, for sure. Like there's no reason not to do that. If it's tried, it's working for them, it's going to work for you if you do the same playbook. But you should also be doing the stuff that no one else is doing. And that's where you're going to find that gem. And it's going to take a couple of tries. And I think this is where vendors like BodyShop Marketing or any other industry experts, this is where that really helps outline that for you, because they can focus on all the stuff that always works. And then you can bring up those crazy ideas that you have that you pick up from a different industry entirely, and you can present it to them. And sometimes vice versa. You might find, some of the marketing vendors that are coming to you with those ideas like, hey, we've tried this test market here. It's working. Let's try it with you and let's see where it goes. So be open to it. Was it closed mouths don't get fed, right?
I love that term.
There we go.
Yep.
So that's what I'm going to leave everyone with.
Love it, love it, love it. It's hard to follow up all of that stuff because it's great. And you actually use like an old timer.
I was about to say that. Are we
I
throwing
know.
the baby out with the
Analogous.
bath?
Full two now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're doing it. So I think just you got to hire a team, right? Whatever it is, whether it's marketing, whether it's accounting, whether it's somebody to train you on coaching your business, a tool. You have to surround yourself by the team, and marketing is such a huge thing. And to my knowledge, most of you do not have a marketing degree. You're not sitting studying all day long. Today, to stay up with marketing, you have to be studying every single day and keeping up on what's latest, the algorithms, how many times has Google changed the pack?
Every week.
This, back 3, there's always something. And so unless you're going to give up your full-time job of what a lot of you are doing at your shops, you have to hire that team, but you need to find somebody that can partner with you, understands who you are, and also is being able to give you that ROI, right? You have to know where your dollars are going because you work hard for them. So thank you, everybody, for joining us today.
Thank you.
And stay safe and make good choices, and we'll be back soon.
See you.